Let's answer this question from your test. Hereditary traits are transmitted from generation to generation by means of. Okay, so let's underline this term right here, hereditary traits. That just means genetics, right, or genes. So that's a word you're probably familiar with. Genes, remember, are DNA. And then it says that they're transmitted, so that just means going from one generation to the next. So transmitted means like to transfer or to give. So what this means is we're taking our DNA and we're giving it to the next generation or giving it to the offspring, which is a word you should be familiar with. So we want to know how this happens. So how do we give our DNA to our children? That's basically what the question is asking us. So A says proteins in body cells. Well, we know that proteins are made by our body cells, but that's not how DNA is given, right? DNA has the instructions to make proteins, but the proteins aren't what we give to our offspring. B says specific sequences of bases in DNA in reproductive cells. So remember, reproductive cells are sperm and egg. And when the sperm fertilizes the egg, we get a baby, right? We get a zygote. And we know that we are merging the DNA in these types of cells. So this is a pretty good answer, but let's make sure we read all the answer choices. C says specific starches that make up DNA. Well, we know that DNA has bases. It doesn't have starches. Starches, remember from biomolecules, starches are carbohydrates. And they do have sugars in there, but that's not what gives us our traits. It's not what's passed on to our children. So we can't be C. And then D says carbohydrates in body cells. So again, we're not dealing with carbohydrates, we're dealing with nucleic acids, right? Because we talked about DNA. The N and the A stands for nucleic acids, and we know that DNA is made up of nitrogen bases. So A, C, and D are incorrect biomolecules. The best answer here would be B.